Are you falling for thirst traps? We're starting off crazy today. Yes, I chose violence. It's going to be a bumpy one. Anyway, it's time for Grace Points. You know, we fall for thirst traps all the time. In contemporary culture, most of the time we're talking about this selfie culture where people post attractive pictures intentionally trying to get attention. Most of the time it's something suggestive and something probably not safe for work. But did you realize the origins of that term, thirst trap, are actually pretty ambiguous? The first time you see it in print is in a book called Running for Dummies in 1999. One of the authors, of course, was one of the greatest runners of all time, Florence Griffith Joyner. And in this book, Running for Dummies, they talk about the thirst trap. And the thirst trap is that point in the body where the body begins to feel thirsty. Well, by the time the body begins to feel thirsty and send signals to the brain, you're already beyond the point of thirsty. So what happens is you drink fluid. And once you feel the initial satisfaction of drinking a little bit of fluid, the thirst trap is the temptation to stop drinking because you felt a little bit of satisfaction and it registers in your brain that you're no longer thirsty. But the reality is your body's actually on the verge of dehydration and you didn't drink enough. So it's a thirst trap. Even though you think you've satisfied your thirst with just a little bit of fluid because it felt good in your mouth, it went down in your body, you felt a rush, but you didn't take in enough for actual hydration. Now you're on the verge of dehydration and all sorts of things happen, right? One of the most fascinating results of dehydration to me was weight gain. Yeah, weight gain. Some of you realized just now that the reason that you gained weight was because you were thirsty, not hungry. What do I mean by that? Well, the body sometimes gives off this message of thirst. Our brain translates that thirsty message and we think that that means I'm hungry. So what happens is, even though I'm thirsty, I start eating when what I really needed was living water. Message, right? John chapter 4, verse 10, the Bible says, Jesus answered her, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is that asked you for a drink, you would have asked him and he would have given you living water." Living water. That's actually what we want. But what happens is we confuse the signals in our lives because the only thing that satisfies is Jesus. But instead, we look for money, we look for relationships, sometimes the wrong relationships. We throw ourselves into work, we go shopping, we might abuse substances, we drink, we do all sorts of dysfunctional, reckless stuff, trying to fill the void, looking for satisfaction, when the only thing that really satisfies is living water. Or, as believers, we get just a little bit of a relationship with God, a little bit of prayer, we get a little bit of church, we get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we have this immediate rush that I must be okay, it felt right, I feel boosted, not realizing we're on the verge of dehydration. And we're filling our lives with everything else besides God. Like gaining weight, we're starting to have an unhealthy existence because we filled our lives with everything else but living water. You need living water every day, not just when you're thirsty. Because by the time you're thirsty, if you're a runner, by the time you're really thirsty, you're probably already experiencing some of the beginning phases of dehydration. In your life, by the time you feel your desperate need for God, you've already done something reckless. By the time you feel your desperate need for God, you're already depressed, you're already discouraged, you're already ready to give up. But when you daily fill your life with living water, you don't get to the point of dehydration. You have strength to endure, strength to overcome temptation, strength to deal with your enemies, strength to deal with your issues. You have the strength, the vitality, the hydration because you're daily filling your life with living water. Question is, has your life fallen to thirst traps? I don't know if it's a relationship. I don't know if you're trying to fill up on the wrong person, if you're trying to fill up with the wrong thing, or if you feel like you had just enough of God to feel a boost, but not enough to really feel hydrated in your life. All I can tell you today is that Jesus really is the answer. Your greatest need is for living water. Otherwise, we're dying. Everything about our existence dries out. So, in the words of that most interesting man, stay thirsty, my friends. Drink in the living water of Jesus Christ and watch him change your life today. Anyway, you all are awesome. Looking forward to seeing you next week. You're an amazing group. I love my Gracepoints family. This is Gracepoints. God bless you.